So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tell y'all the story. I was gonna save it for the podcast, but it's a little too personal. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to y'all on my own personal page. So here's the thing. So everybody knows that weed is legal and shit in DC, and that they always have these big ass fucking marijuana parties where promoters rent out clubs and there's DJs and vendors and shit. Like, you know, vendors are there selling concentrates. You know, for those of you who don't smoke weed, that's stuff that goes in the vape pens. So, you know, shit like that. And it's like everybody, it's like for people who really don't have a place to get high, this works for y'all because it's a big fucking party. It's good for the college kids. Can't smoke on campus. Can't smoke at mom and dad's house. You know, just like, oh, dude, there's this party. We can buy bud there and we get high there. All right, fine, but whatever. So it's a lot of names in DC, and a lot of them run together in the same fucking circles and shit. So I had a business partner, and my business partner had advised me to align myself with these names in DC. Now, anybody who knows me knows that my introverted ass was like, yeah, no thank you, I ain't doing that shit. So these motherfuckers put monopolies on the party. So the promoters fuck with the same people over and over again. Ain't no new coming in, oh, I'm a vendor, I do this, I do that, I sell this marijuana product. Doesn't matter if you ain't one of them people who is a part of the monopoly. Promoters ain't even fucking with you, dog, because the promoters then on the bullshit on the monopoly too. All right, fine. So I would go to a lot of these fucking events, a lot of them. Go by myself, sometimes with other people, but mostly by myself. And I'm just peeping what everybody is doing in terms of the vendors. You know, their business style. This is how I peep the monopoly or whatever, because I noticed that at every event, it was always the same motherfuckers. And it's crazy to me how if there's no more availability for vendors, how is it that these same motherfuckers be at all the events? All right, I see what y'all got going on. Fine. So, and of course, anybody who has had the pleasure of smoking with me, there's a reason I call myself that dope hippie girl, because, excuse me, I can smoke with the best of them. I have smoked niggas under the table. This is what I do. My tolerance is very, very high. I get time, my nigga. So, all right, I'm at these events. I'm smoking weed. I'm eating edibles. I'm doing the absolute fucking most. Smoked before I left the house. Smoked on the way to DC. Smoked in DC, in the party. And I'm eating edibles and shit. And I'm eating edibles, and I'm like, yo, I don't feel nothing. Even with my own edibles, after a certain point, it's like, oh, let's sit down now. These edibles, no. I remember this one party in particular, and I did a video about it, and I'm glad I did, where I had some cotton candy, I had a maple bacon donut, and I had a piece of cheesecake. All were allegedly medicated, okay? I didn't feel a motherfucking thing. I didn't feel shit. And I was like, well, maybe it's just that my tolerance is high, and each of these items is probably less than, I'm going to say, 150 milligrams. Because let me break it down to the people who don't smoke weed. When you get something and it says 100 milligrams, that means that that's basically the equivalent. That's the equivalent of 1 gram of weed. You can fit 1 gram of weed in a blunt or like a backwood or Dutch or whatever. And so basically, if something's 100 milligrams, that's the equivalent of smoking 1 blunt. A bitch like me, I don't really feel anything unless it's at least 250 milligrams, because I got a high tolerance. So that's the equivalent of me smoking, not joints. That's the equivalent of smoking 2.5 blunts. Joints, I would probably go on the limb to say about 4. So that's the equivalent of about 4 joints if something's 250 milligrams. All right, bet. So because I'm not getting high, I'm figuring that maybe, just maybe, these products just really aren't that strong. And so I bring shit home to Chorus. Now, Chorus is not a smoker. She's not a weed smoker. at all. She eats whatever I cook. If it has something in it, she eats very small dosages. I always make her gummies, and the gummies are like either 25 or 50 milligrams, and those are the ones that she can tolerate. And even then, if she eats one 25 milligram gummy tonight, we ain't gonna see the bitch till Thursday. So moving on, I bring her some shit home. I bring her this cookie. It's a macaroon, which is a coconut cookie, and it's drizzled with chocolate. All right, bet. This is cute. I'm going to bring this home to my wife. Anybody who's ever had edibles, no matter what it is, especially if chocolate is involved, you are going to smell the marijuana on it. You cannot escape it. So first, I don't smell no weed. So I'm like, okay, maybe they just, thinned it out, masked it real well, and that's why we can't smell it. That wasn't the case. Course eats the cookie. She like, I don't really feel shit. First of all, the cookie was this big. This big. I paid $20 for the fucking cookie. Bunch of bullshit. Anybody who's bought cookies from me, you get 3 cookies the size of your hand for $25. But that's neither here nor there. Course doesn't feel a thing after she eats this cookie. So I said, let me taste it. And I tasted it. And what happened was, these motherfuckers had bought, let me get a piece of paper and a pencil. These motherfuckers had bought store-bought cookies, right? Let me draw the cookie so y'all can get a visual of what the fuck I'm talking about. So, nah, that's too big. Let's say the cookie was this big, right? See this circle here? They drizzled chocolate on it. It was not that much chocolate drizzled on it. Bitch, the chocolate was medicated. That little ass bit of drizzle, that cannot be considered an edible, my nigga. That was probably like 1 milligram. That was probably like, I'm gonna tell you how much weed was in that. That's how much weed was in that fucking cookie. So now, I would go to these events and I'm like, yo, these edibles ain't shit. They ain't shit. They ain't shit. Ain't no fucking weed in these edibles. These motherfuckers getting over on people because people really don't know. And so I stopped fucking with them. Now there's all this shit coming out from all these vendors in DC where people are having their stuff tested because these vendors in DC are lying to them. And the funny thing is, I was saying it, but I kept it to myself because I said, you know what, I ain't knocking nobody hustle. But when you don't, and anybody who has listened to me talk on a personal level has heard me say that I can't be aligned with the people in DC and I can't fuck with them because they're not about the education piece. They're all about getting money and getting over on patients and consumers. And the crazy thing is I had a business partner who was like hard pressed for me to align myself with these people in DC, and I was just like, no, I can get it on my own. I can make my own name for myself. I don't need to be aligned with them, and I'm glad that I listened to myself because can you imagine if I was aligned with these motherfuckers? I don't want to be associated with none of this fuck shit that they doing. So the moral of this is always stick to your guns and be you.